Hey, so this is my voice 5 weeks on T. Um, and like I went back and listened to like my first video and I was like, oh wow, okay. Um, but I'm also sick, so I don't want to get like too super excited because I know that when like my like chest clears up, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's actually still really high. So I'm trying to not like be like, oh yeah, my voice is super low right now, you guys. Even though I feel like it is. Um, so I don't really have too many things to update about. Um, a couple things that I have noticed in general in the past, month and a half or month and a week, um, is that my confidence seems to be like a lot like increased. That was one of the first things that I noticed. And like looking back on it, it's like, okay, yeah, I felt like I was carrying myself like completely differently, just like walking around, like I felt more comfortable with myself. Um, so that's one thing that I noticed right away. Um, there haven't been too many changes that I want to talk about at this point. There's some things, but I'm going to save all of that for a later video to kind of put all the like sex things in one video. Um, but I want to keep them interesting, so I'm going to answer another one of the questions. And it's kind of difficult to find ones that I think are good. So the one I like is, how do you deal with being misgendered in the beginning of your transition? Um, so the way that I feel like this is a good one to answer right now. Um, and the way that I kind of deal with it is that I've been trying to be very patient with people because, especially for family members, knowing someone one way with a set of pronouns and then being asked to switch to another one, I know is difficult for people. Um, and so, especially anyone who's heteronormative and not in the queer community, like I give much less leeway to anyone who is queer. Um, and dealing with people intentionally misgendering me instead of like accidentally is a whole nother issue. But anytime it's accidental within the queer community, it's not like I'm expecting an apology, or I don't want anyone to make a big to do about it. I just like, you know, people to move forward and to keep trying to use like the correct pronouns. Um, and that's even with a lot of my like straight like college friends, because I mean, you're young enough to kind of get on that page. Um, but especially right now, I'm very trying to be very flexible and understanding with people, because I do know like it's difficult to um, refer to someone with different pronouns than what is socially like perceived or whatever. So because I still am read as female constantly, I know it's difficult for people to use male pronouns. So I'm trying to be understanding, and I feel like I do a pretty good job of it. I'm even more understanding with my family, and I know it's gonna take them a while to get to that point. But I'm just kind of hoping that at one point they can and do. Um, but I have dealt with some intentional misgendering from some queer people that I know, and it is the worst feeling. Would take like hearing my sister or my mom, um, or even my straight friends, like my straight friends make every effort to, like, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, or they'll just be like, oh, Kelsey, Liam, um, and it's like I always feel, really, really appreciative of them for doing that. But when someone who is queer is intentionally misgendering me, it's like a slap right in the face. And those are the ones that really bring me down, because I try to not overreact in any situation, but when I hear that, I'm just like, are you serious? Like, especially people who have known me only by my like male pronouns, and like even though I'm presenting female, like come on, if I've for a year we've talked about this and we've had discussions, and like it blows my mind. So that's frustrating, I think is the best word. And the problem is that like before I was able to keep a really level head, and now it's kind of like I get annoyed very easily. And so that'll be interesting going back anytime I hear that, because especially in the next like month or two when I am being read in public as male, like I'm not going to tolerate it. Like I'm gonna be real, like just get it right. It's not that difficult. Um, so yeah, that's about all I have to talk about right now. I'm gonna head back to college in the next couple days, and then I have another shot next week. So yeah, I will update everyone next week. Thanks.